This is Bruno with a segment called 10 Minutes or Less with Bruno No BS. A very simple and casual interview. No fancy cameras. Today I have Cesar. He is the owner of Nulife Power Services. How you doing, brother?
Better than I deserve, my brother. Better than I deserve,
All
probably.
right. Tell me, how long have you been in the roofing industry?
Commercial solar for 15 years, since 2008.
When did you realize roofing would be a career for you?
Yeah. So again, roof solar commercial is in a kind of a tied to the electrical trade. So let me clarify that real quick, right? When I realized it was actually when I was sitting on the couch. I had just gotten out of high school. I was sitting on the couch watching, the Jerry Springer show.
Yes.
It's the middle of the afternoon. It's 2008. The economy is not doing too well, and the commercial comes online and it says, if you're sitting at home, sitting on your butt, not doing anything, give us a call, start a career. And so I look around and I think that,
Yeah,
they
I
must be
do
talking to
remember. I do
me.
remember that. I do remember watching that. And I was like, I was very young. I was like, man, I'm gonna call this. I need I want to get out of the roofing industry.
There you go. That's exactly right, man. So I picked up the phone. My dad took me the very next day. We signed up. And for the first time in a very long time, I found something that I really love. That was the beginning, man. I found the electrical trade and it just clicked. I did a 9 month program. I got picked up by a small solar company in 2008. Most of the solar companies were kind of hippie companies, right? It was the save the world, green energy. And I
And
was just happy
extremely
to have a
expensive
job.
too, as well. Extremely expensive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a new industry, new technology. It was really expensive back then.
Can you tell me a little bit about New Life and what is your title with the company?
Yeah, I'm the owner, baby.
There you go.
I'm the owner. That's right. You're talking to the Jefe. I'm the owner and the founder of an electrical contractor, a licensed contractor since 2015. I'm a journeyman electrician by trade. We built a New Life Power Services specifically to service a very specific need, which was the removal and the reinstallation of existing solar systems. And that's kind of how we tied into you and into the roofing space, right? So if it kind of to imagine it, you've got a bunch of solar systems on a bunch of rooftops, and then the roofs need to be replaced. Well, somebody needs to take the solar off before you can replace the roofing. And we saw that need when we were installing in the last 15 years across the United States. We realized that there was going to come a point where the warranty for those roofs were going to come to an end, and that solar system was going to have to be temporarily moved so that you could replace the roof. And that's why we built New Life Power.
So you guys pretty much not replacing a solar. You got what you guys do is kind of like remove the solar and put it back to the place. Install
Exactly
all
right.
back.
Exactly
So
right.
is there a situation that you guys have to put a new solar to as well? Or no, you just primarily you only do move and putting back.
It's totally dependent on the customer and on the situation of the solar system. I would say that most often than not, we're replacing the system as is. The systems, solar systems, Bruno, just like a roofing system, very similar. It's meant to operate for about 25 to 30 years, right? Minor repairs, minor maintenance, but the total system is meant to live for 25 years. So if the roof needs to be replaced, the system has been installed, let's say 10 years, it still has a whole half of its life left. So most of the time, we'll package it nicely, safely. We'll send our electricians. We'll turn it off safely. We'll package it. We'll take it off the roof. Let the roofers come in, do their work, and then we'll come back and reinstall the same system. And just for the record, Bruno, we're stationed here in California, but we do national work. We do work. We can travel all 50 states. So traveling is not a problem for us.
When it comes to commercial, there a lot of companies that do commercial panels, or they're like, is there a top five or a top three in the nation?
Yeah, there is. There is. Solar used to be a small mom and shop kind of an idea. Now you have bigger corporations that take the bulk of most of the solar development. Now, solar removal and reinstallation not so much. I would say that there's probably just a handful of us across the country because it's a very specialized, high liability project. These big companies, they're interested in installing new solar systems, where we are more on the specialty contracting side, right? So what we do specifically, not a lot of companies.
A lot of times when I see solar panels, uh, and I seen a lot because I am from the commercial side. Most of the time, when it's time to replace the roof, they remove everything else, and it's a lot of waste of money and all that kind of stuff. So your company truly, not only is good for the environment, but also to save money for the customers, not knowing that the life of the panel, the solar panel, could be extended, maybe for 5 or 10 more years, right?
I got something even more excited to tell you. So not in the chance that we cannot reinstall the same system, and there can be several reasons. They want a new system. The financials make sense to just bring a new system, or the building is being transferred to a new owner. They don't want to. They're not. They don't want a new system right now. What do you do with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 solar panels? We have been able to find opportunities internationally to take these used solar panels and repurpose them into these developing countries. So the last thing we want to do as an industry is take a used panel that still has a long life left and put it in the landfill. So we've been able to repurpose close to about 50,000 panels in different countries around the world.
That's incredible. Does the customer get any discount? Like, for instance, if they have an old solar panel and they don't want anymore, and you have a purpose to give to third world countries that they need it for, does the customer receive like a discount?
100%. Yeah, 100%. These are intelligent customers. They want a line item, every part, every nut and bolt, right? It's a very transparent relationship, and it needs to be that way. So yes, but it goes both ways, right? So also understand that sometimes the panel is way too old, way too damaged, and it cannot be reused. It's not safe. What we don't want to do is take garbage from the United States and send them to a developing country. So we have very specific parameters of what can be reused as secondhand product. But in most cases, we can find a use for a used panel, and absolutely, we will always give a credit back to the customer. Solar's here to stay. Solar's here to stay. A study just came out. 3.6 million installations across all 50 states, 255,000 solar jobs around 50 states. Solar is not going anywhere. Solar from 15 years ago that you mentioned to today has dropped about 70% in cost, right? The production, the technology has gotten a lot easier to make. We've streamlined our installation practices. We've reduced the hardware necessary for it. There's still a lot of government rebate for solar with this new Reduction Inflation Act. So solar's here to stay, and it's still a very valid investment.
Another question I want to ask you, as a roofer, because I've been in the roofing industry, in the roofing side and the roofing contractor side, and one of the biggest mistakes I've seen from solar companies is that sometimes they have their own people that they also do the repairs, the maintenance, and it's a catastrophe. You guys work with roofing contractors, am I right? Is the roofing
Yes.
contractor they install? You guys just remove, put it back, but you work together with the building owner, roofing contractor, and your company. Am I right?
Exactly right. That's exactly right. It's a collaboration of a lot of communication, a lot of understanding. We work with some of the top roofing companies in the country, and so we understand what it takes to work with them. We know that they're under a schedule. I would say this: when we operate in a different state, a lot of times what we do is we'll send our electricians, we'll do the electrical portion, and we can even partner up with the roofers so that they can help us do the bulk of the labor, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Because by the end of the day, I tell everyone this: a roofer is not an electrician, and an electrician is not a roofer. What are one of the biggest mistakes that you see, from other solar companies that are trying to do something similar to that?
The biggest mistake that we see some of these other solar companies do is they don't realize that the removal is just as, if not more important than the reinstallation.